Hello. Hi, everyone. Guys, in case you can hear me loud and clear, can you please type a yes in the chat? Okay. Hi, Jagdish. Hi, Arun. Hi, Abhay, Sagar, Abhishek, Monish, Dhirender, Devrata. Hi, everyone. A very happy good evening to all of you. My name is Sarman, and I would be the facilitator for today's class. Our master class today is actually based on how do you actually build a career in Web 3.0. Right. Also, that is what we'll be actually delving very deep into. We'll try and understand what all Web 3.0 is, what all growth can we expect in the coming years. Also, we'll try and challenge, if and all there would be any growth, and if it would be, what kind of opportunities would be there in, this growth, and how can we, as let's say, workers of tomorrow, as entrepreneurs of tomorrow, capitalize on it, right? So for all of the folks who have joined new, our class would be conducted by Mr. Harsim Ranjit Singh. Harsim is actually an MBA pass out of London Business School. And post this, he has actually worked very extensively since 2018 into the world of blockchain, crypto, and Web 3.0, right? So he has been actively consulting a lot of governments, a lot of companies, not only in India, but also abroad, on how can they launch successful projects, what all is the growth that is there in Web 3.0. And today he's going to impart that knowledge to us. We're very thankful of him to actually come, give us time. So give us 2 hours actually today. So we have 2 hours. So any and all the questions that you might have, please have them handy. आप एक पेन पेपर लेके रख लो, आपके सारे क्वेश्चंस का आंसर करेंगे. Someone is asking, do you provide the recording? Of course, let me check if we have started the recording. We're already recording, so we'll provide it. Right? Perfect. Someone is asking, please begin with Web 3.0 versus Industry 4.0. So do not worry at all. I know you would have a lot of questions, lot of diverse set of people who are joining us today. We'll try and answer all your questions. So my job would be to ensure that all your questions are getting answered. So how we'll have this classes? During the class, we have a content that we've already decided that we'll be teaching you. During the class, any and all the questions that you might have, please put it in the chat. It would be my job to ensure that I keep on asking all your questions whenever I feel the time to Harsim. In case your question is left unanswered, or in case you want to answer it directly, just wait till the end of the class, that is about 8:15, 8:30. Then we'll have a separate Q&A session wherein you can unmute yourself and ask your question to Harsim directly. Right? I hope this is okay for everyone. If it is, can you please type a yes in the chat? Okay, perfect. Is it only okay by Sagar? Okay, Abhishek, Amresh, come on, guys. We need some kind of activity, some kind of energy. Okay, perfect, guys. Perfect. Right. So for all the folks who have joined new on the screen, you can read more about Harsim. Right. He's currently the strategic advisor at astrobabies.io, a very well-run firm based out of Bombay, and also working as the chief growth officer of AlgoBits, right? Founder of Average Consulting. And so I told you, he is full-time into Web 3.0, does everything under that is there under Web 3.0. So once you talk with him, you get the idea that how passionate he is about Web 3.0 and what kind of career can you all develop in Web 3.0. So I can pretty much guarantee you that all of you would be learning a lot of new things today. Before we start today's session, can you guys please introduce some more about yourself? You can just type the city you're joining from, or what do you do as a profession, right? So that we also know more about the kind of audience that we have, and accordingly we can set the agenda of today's class. We can set the tone of today's class. So if you could please write a one line about yourself in the chat. Myself, my name is Harman. I am joining from Chandigarh, and I work in a company called the Future University, who's actually presenting this entire session to you. Right. Okay. Thanks, Krishna, for starting. Krishna is from Kerala. He's working as a 3D modeler. That is very nice. And it is one of the prominent jobs that is going to come up into the world of Web 3.0, along with fashion designing or even architects, right? Okay. We have Abhishek, who's a software developer. Then we have Monish, who's from Pune, and will love to use my background in finance to build a career for myself in blockchain and Web 3.0. So Monish, you would be interested to know that the highest growing industry into Web 3.0 is actually that of DeFi, right? that is decentralized finance. Amresh is joining from Bhubaneswar and is a blockchain developer. Ankit is the co-founder for NFTs marketplace, especially Web 3. Okay, Web 3 domain names. That is very nice. That is a very high growing industry. So for all the folks, बहुत बार क्या होता है, when we hear NFT, we only think about art, but NFT is much more than art, right? And domain names is actually one of the things that has a lot of growth. So people, what they do is they make very creative domain names in the hope of selling them at an appreciated price later. Okay, perfect. Good work, Ankit. Jagdish is joining from Pondicherry, working as a program analyst. Satish is from Chennai, digital designer, graphic designer, blockchain enthusiast. Anitesh. And we have Keshram, who's a teacher from Manipur, data scientist. Krishna is joined from Ahmedabad and is into a research engineer at AGS. Okay, wonderful, guys. So a lot of developers, a lot of non-developers joining today. So before we start our session, just a small question in the form of poll. The poll is in front of your screen. What should be the preferred language for our class? So whatever is the most or the best for you, you can just choose it. Hindi, English, mix of Hindi, English रखें. तो जो भी आपको best लग रहा है, आप उसको choose कर लो. Right? Perfect. So we can wait for another 5 seconds till the time everyone can just fill in. So before starting the class, I would have a couple of more questions that I would like to know more, because Harsim asked me that he wanted to know more about the audience, so that we can then accordingly adjust the class. अगर थोड़ा tech side ज़्यादा लेके जाना है, non tech side ज़्यादा लेके जाना है, basic ज़्यादा पढ़ाने हैं या advanced ज़्यादा पढ़ाने हैं, तो accordingly हम कर लेंगे. So दो और question होंगे. I'll ask both of them also. One question would be more pertaining to, have you in terms of profession capacity, have you done any project into Web3 before? And second, have you ever owned a cryptocurrency before or not, right? So मैं poll की format में पूछूंगा, so that we get a objective idea in terms of percentage that who are participants live here, right? Perfect. So let me share the results also. So in front of your screen, you can see 43% of the folks who have joined here are actually okay doing the class in English, and then 43% are okay in doing a mix of Hindi and English. Only 14% को हिंदी चाहिए. तो guys, जो हिंदी वाले लोग हैं ना, हम क्या करेंगे, हम क्लास इंग्लिश में रखेंगे. जहां कहीं भी आपको कोई भी प्रॉब्लम आए, आप पूछ लेना, एक बार चैट में डाल देना. विल ट्राई एंड रीआइटरेट दैट कॉन्सेप्ट इन हिंदी एज वेल. तो हरसिम इज एक्चुअली फ्रॉम नॉर्थ इंडिया ओनली. ही इज करंटली बेस्ड आउट ऑफ बॉम्बे. बट अगर कहीं भी आपको कोई भी इशू आने लगेगा, जस्ट टाइप इट इन द चैट, विल रिपीट दैट कॉन्सेप्ट. बट मोस्ट ऑफ द क्लास वुड बी इन इंग्लिश. आई होप दिस इज ओके फॉर एवरीवन. Perfect. One more question, two more questions, guys. One. So the question is, have you ever owned a cryptocurrency before? Yes, no. Do not put it in the chat. There's a poll in front of your screen. You can just fill it up. Everyone, you can quickly do it so that we are done with all the formalities and we can then start with the session, because आज हमने बहुत कुछ plan करके रखा है. Right? We'll discuss a lot about Web3, a lot about growth in Web3, and a lot about how do you get jobs in Web3. Right? Perfect. So we can wait for another 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 seconds. Has everyone filled up the poll? The poll says, have you ever owned a cryptocurrency before? Okay. So very interesting, guys. Let me share the results for all of you. Bilkul 50-50. 50% of the folks who have joined here, who are sitting amongst you, have actually owned a cryptocurrency before, and 50% haven't, right? So let's go on the second question. Now the second question is in front of your screen. Have you ever worked on a crypto project before? Crypto, or you could even replace it with Web3. Right? So I would request each and every one of you to please do fill it up. Perfect. So we can wait for another 1 to 2 seconds. Perfect. So let me share the results, guys. This is very interesting. 86% of the folks who have joined here have not worked on any cryptocurrency project before, right? And only 14% have actually worked on a cryptocurrency project before. For all the folks who have actually worked, can you just type in the chat, what kind of project was it? Maybe one line, one word about it. Someone is asking, Rinfella, is this an investment? Uh, Rinfella, it's not an investment. It is more like an industry where you can join and build your career. So this is not about any kind of trading, investing, or anything, right? Okay. So Ankit has worked on an metaverse project. Dhanu has worked on NFT and VR AR. Amresh has worked on a DeFi project. ओके कई लोगों को लग रहा होगा मेटावर्स क्या होता है, एनएफटी क्या होता है, एआर वीआर क्या होता है, डीफाई क्या होता है. डू नॉट वरी इफ दीस वर्ड साउंड पी2ई क्या होता है. अगर ये वर्ड्स आपको थोड़े फॉरेन लग रहे हैं, थोड़े डरावने लग रहे हैं, डू नॉट वरी एट ऑल. We'll actually try and make sense out of all these things in today's session, right? For now, let me welcome Harsim, who's our expert for today. Hi Harsim, let me put you on spotlight so everyone can see you. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Harman. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure always with you.
It's always great having you, right? So Harsim, I suppose you were already there while we were discussing about the audience mix, right? So 86% of the folks have not worked on any kind of crypto project before. Is it surprising or is it what you expected?
Actually, I'm gladly surprised that there is 14% of the population that's actually worked on a Web3 or a crypto project. Very impressed, actually.
Okay, perfect. So guys, now we'll be starting the session. Right now, Harsim has a rule which he told me very clearly. Now the rule is, in the class, all the folks who are sitting, they have to switch on their camera. Until and unless you are sitting on a PC which doesn't has a camera, everyone has to switch on a camera, because while we're studying, we want to look at each other, we want to feel each other's expression so that we also get some feedback, right? So it's very important for us to see you. I can see Manish. Hi Manish. I can see someone by the name Pro User. I can see Shivraj, Praveen, Nishu, Abhinandan, and everyone else. Would request all of you to please switch on your camera. आज की क्लास बहुत इंटरेक्टिव रखेंगे. विल कीप इट एज इंटरेक्टिव एज यू कैन. जहां कहीं भी आपका कोई भी डाउट आएगा, प्लीज फील फ्री टू पुट इट इन द चैट. कहीं भी डाउट आए, आपने चैट में डाल देना है. इट इज माय जॉब टू इंश्योर योर क्वेश्चन इज गेटिंग आंसर्ड, राइट? Perfect. So Harsim, may I stop sharing my screen?
Yes, please. I can take over.
Okay, perfect. So guys, are we ready? Are we excited? अगर excited हैं तो एक बार excited डालिए. Keep the word excited in the chat. Not yes, excited. Okay, only Dhirendra is. अच्छा, Alok is, Devendra is. Come on guys. चलो अगले 2 घंटे let's keep the full energy and let's try and get whatever we can, the maximum that we can from this session. Okay, perfect.
Great. Thank you, Harman. This is lovely. It's a fantastic class. I see that everybody is all across the country, which is fantastic. I think this diversity is what really will bring in the right questions and ensure that, people interact with each other and we all learn together. Web3 is an evolving space. Every day is a new learning. And, we all hope to make sure that we all learn from each other. Some of the key angles, or let's say key aspects that we want to cover in a class like today, right, would be how and why should you build a career in Web 3.0, right? Is it an industry that is worth pursuing, spending your time in, right? And what should be the right approach that you could take towards building a successful career, right? It could be either taking on small gig roles to be able to, let's say, test the waters and see if it works for you. Is it something even that is interesting to you, right? And once we, let's say, check all of these boxes eventually over the course of these 2 hours, right, we would also want to run through a simple check to understand hum kitne pani mein hain, right? Where do we stand today? How do we rank against the global population? Is there an opportunity for us as a team, as a community together? And what are the opportunities that we can foresee as the low-hanging fruits?
Yeah.
Right. So, we will start with the impact and the rise of Web3, which I feel over the last 2-3 years, everybody is talking about NFTs and Bitcoin and all of this. And till 3-4 years ago, almost, I'm not sure how many people heard about Web3 or even Bitcoin or Ethereum, right? But today it's a common conversation. I sit in any coffee shop, I can at least hear a few conversations in the background. with people talking about bored apes and some NFTs and some metaverse concepts and all of that. So, I feel not just statistics, as you can see, the Web3 industry is supposed to grow at about a 42% approximately over the next 7 to 8 years and reach about an 82 plus billion market capitalization by 2030. And I'm not including tokens here at all. It is just the industry size at all, right? This is something which is statistics, but I'm sure everybody here has heard the term Web3, has heard the term NFT through some conversation with either friends, family, or even news media as well, right? So this is what we're trying to do here. Try to demystify this concept and try to figure out where is it that we stand and where our opportunities are, right? If you look at just India in general, which is one of the largest users globally in terms of Web3, right? There has been an 830% increase in jobs in the last 6 months. Compare this to your conventional businesses like Twitter, I'm sure everybody's heard, just had a massive 17% layoff across the board. 50% of the Indian team has been laid off. Companies like Stripe, etc., are laying off people left, right, center. Now, this could be because of global macroeconomic scenarios, right? With inflation being extremely high, companies cannot really sustain the growth. But Web3 is the exact opposite, right? We are seeing new jobs popping up every day. I open my LinkedIn and I check any job opening. I think 70% of the openings that I see today are for a role that is on Web3, right? Let's just take an example. I'm going to open up a link that gives you an understanding of what the current status is in terms of layoffs, right? This is a website called layoffs.fyi. We will share this link with everybody at the end of this session for everybody to keep a check and understand where the real talent is missing and why these companies are really laying off people. So if you can see, Twitter, 3,700 people laid off. Odan, 350 people laid off, Stripe, a major fintech company out of the US, 1,000 people laid off. Lyft, Clio, right? If you look at this entire list, I could keep scrolling. I don't see a single Web3 company here, right? It's all conventional Web2 businesses that are really struggling to make ends meet. And, really very, very difficult for these companies to really sustain and manage and keep up with the growth that Web3 is doing. So Web3 is your internet of what it was in the 1990s, right? There are naysayers, Bitcoin price falls down 75%, and the next thing we hear on TV is Bitcoin is dead. For every time I heard Bitcoin is dead, I had $1, I could be a millionaire today. Why take up a job in Web 3.0? I think one of the biggest advantages post-COVID has been the fact that we have gotten so comfortable with having our own setup at home, working remotely, working from wherever you want. You want to spend 6 months in Bali, living out of a villa and working from Bali if you want. Web3 is something that could offer you an opportunity of that sort. The salaries are fantastic. You get paid phenomenally well. You could be in India working for a US or a UK or a Europe-based cryptocurrency company that's well funded. You could be looking at making US dollars and spending in INR, which is again something which is fantastic. You could be sitting out of Chandigarh where the living costs are far lesser as compared to a city like Bombay, right? So the decision is entirely yours. It gives you that creative freedom to be able to decide what is the place that you want to live at, what is the kind of work that you want to do. You could also decide the amount of hours you wish to spend. You are not obligated to take on a full-time job at all. You could take on small gigs, right? And make sure that test the waters, see what works for you, find the right model. Some people believe in work-life balance. Web3 could offer this to you if you play your cards smartly, right? Today, there is a massive shortage of talent. Most people understand Web2, aspire to work with companies like possibly a Google or a Twitter or a LinkedIn or a Microsoft. But, the companies like Coinbase, for example, or even a CoinBCX, which are unicorns in their own respect today, are facing a massive shortage of real talent. And they're on a hunt. They want people who are willing to learn, who don't necessarily need to have a lot of experience in Web3, but are people who understand the concept, are passionate about this industry, and wish to build a career in that. Right? And that's where we come in. Right? So this is a small understanding of, let's say, what the current scenario is. Right? There is an abundance of talent in the IT industry, IT consulting, that like guys like TCS, Infosys, tons of talent there, very few opportunities. If you look at it, entry level positions of freshers has not grown in the last 10 years. Whereas Web3 is flipping this on its head, right? There's a shortage of talent. The growth is phenomenal, as we saw earlier, right? So that's where Web3 is your low hanging fruit. This is where you should be looking at building your next career, looking at opportunities to say, listen, I'm not very sure about Web3, but I really want to find and see if there's an opportunity that exists for me. I'm not a tech guy, right? And I am in this industry for the last few years, and knock on wood, it's been extremely successful for me. I still feel that we are very, very early in an industry like this, and the opportunities are just going to keep coming. We just need to make sure that we have the right network and the right attitude to be able to ensure that we capitalize on opportunities of this.
Yeah, perfect.
Right. Look at the jobs, for example. Now, these are an average salary. Your high-end salaries could go 5x of this, right? If you're let's say, for example, a Solidity developer, one of the most common languages that is used towards writing of smart contracts in Web3, right? You're looking at 170K. And today, if you look at Ethereum, right, and the number of developers working on Ethereum is almost about 4 lakhs globally. Out of these 4 lakh developers, almost about 50% of them are Indians working and living in India and making salaries like 170K. Now that's fantastic. You live in US and you make 170K, your expenses are going to be about 80K to 90K. Living in India, you could easily save, I think, about 100K out of this and still have a fantastic lifestyle, live like a king, and still have enough money to save and do as you want. You could save enough to even actually decide if you wish to build your own Web3 protocol. Go right ahead. You've got a few 100K in your bank, and go right ahead, build as you like. Blockchain engineer, for example, right? Let's look a little bit more at, let's say, non-tech jobs. People like me who are non-technical. I'm not an engineer. I don't understand code as such, but I work with coders day in, day out, right? So roles like project manager, or even finance, or even design, as a matter of fact, or even community manager, right? These numbers are fantastic. You look at something like this, working with, let's say, a Web2 company in India, you could be looking at about 15 to 16 lakhs at the top end. And that's where I believe that Web3 as an opportunity is fantastic for any individual to seize that. Any questions so far? If there are any questions, just do put them in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer them.
Yeah. So guys, I had a question. Now, this is not for Ranjit, but this is for everyone else. So till now, whatever we have discussed, right? Do you all agree with the kind of growth that Web 3.0 has? Yes or no? Right? Okay. So there is someone by the name Deep who's very, very interested in everyone joining his Telegram group. So in case someone wants to join a Telegram group where they tell you about stocks, cryptocurrencies, you can join it. Deep, if it's okay, can you stop spamming now? Chalo. Chalo. Great. So now, guys, coming back to a question. So whatever we have discussed, so do you agree with the kind of growth that Web 3.0 is having? And I also want to know, let's say, what's your reason of actually being interested into Web 3.0, right? So what's your reason of coming into Web 3.0, deciding about building a career in Web 3.0? Shivraj says fresher opportunities. Shahid, this question, Harsim, are these opportunities available to freshers too?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely. There are tons of opportunities for freshers. I think the only real criteria is your willingness to learn and hustle. Really, I think that is by far the most important criteria.
Perfect. Okay, so now that question is answered. Abhishek says he's looking for a career shift because Web 3.0 is a buzzword right now. Bhavesh believes learning new opportunities in the current scenario. Ankit believes innovation and career change. Okay, Rinvela is asking, sir, how to get ahead with it, how to build a career in it. So will be actually that is the core agenda of today's session, how to build a career in Web 3.0, and soon we'll be discussing more about that also. More specifically about jobs, what kind of different opportunities there, and what jobs are there, and how you can access it, right? So that would be the core agenda of today's class. Okay, Pooja says in Web3 world, most of the projects are clone of Uniswap. Is it a question or is it a statement? Hassan, would you like to comment on it? In Web 3.0, Web 3 world, most of the projects are clone of Uniswap.
Well, I'll say one thing. I think imitation is the best form of flattery. Uniswap is a market leader. It's doing extremely well. There are various protocols like DSC has its own Pancake Swap, which is a clone of Uniswap, right? But I think Uniswap also might possibly have various other opportunities to grow. So you can't really call each project a clone, but I'd say definitely inspired by, at least in the DeFi space. If you're looking at automatic market makers, which also in most common terms you would call as a decentralized exchange.
Yeah. Perfect. So now we have other folks who are saying, Munish says growth opportunities, especially for a person from a non-technical background to enter IT. That is also a very much possibility. Right. Ashwin says, may I get a recording? So Ashwin, we are already recording the session. So post this session, I'll actually share it with everyone. No worries in that. But more especially, we'll actually be starting with a lot of content right now. So you haven't missed much. Okay. In USA, after masters, what is the scope of Web3 career?
Well, the US is today, if you look at it, it's a close tie between India and US in terms of development activities or even activity pertaining to Web3. So I think you're in a great space. Either you're in India or in the US, I think there are a ton of opportunities. Just make sure that you are updated and you have the right tools in hand to be able to make sure that you don't miss opportunities as such and try to seize what you get.
Yeah. Joseph says, suggest valid courses to develop our knowledge in Web 3.0. So Joseph, what we'll do is, post the end of the session, we'll give you some free resources also. And we also have our own course that is a 3-month program, mentorship program, wherein we help folks, both technical and non-technical, to get jobs into Web 3.0. We'll also discuss more about it, right? Okay, Akshay says, I want to jump in Web 3 because it is decentralized and more security than Web 2. Krishna says your voice has echo. Guys, if the voice is a problem, you can just let us know in the chat. We'll look into it. Okay. Any opportunities for data scientists in Web3?
Oh, yes, tons of them. We need a lot of them. Please connect with me. I'm sure we can find you something.
Okay. So Krishna says, I want to learn Solidity. On which platform can I learn it? So Krishna, we in our own program, we actually teach Solidity for all the folks who want to go into development. So no worries in that. We'll also let you know more about it. But at the end of the session, right now, we'll more focus on how to actually get the jobs, right? Okay. So how long will it take? So our course is actually 3 months. I need programming knowledge for web. Yeah, it is covered. It is actually for all the folks who are interested into programming, non-programming jobs like community management, content management, marketing, like project management, product management. So all of the things we actually take care of, right? Perfect. So there are a lot of questions. Shiva again came for his group in Telegram. So for anyone who wants to join, you can join, right? Okay, perfect. So let's do this thing, guys. Let's move ahead, right? And all the questions that are left, we'll take it up later.
Great. Thank you, Harman. Again, the second biggest buzzword is the metaverse, right? I'm sure everybody's heard about the metaverse, right? The scope, what do we see in the metaverse today? Today, I think the metaverse is at its very, very nascent stage, right? What we imagine metaverse today is possibly your AR, VR based, possible gameplay, or just a meeting avenue, right? But I think the metaverse is a world of its own. Let's consider one metaverse as one city, right? So you could say there are platforms on metaverse, like let's say your Decentraland or either Sandbox. Now, Decentraland could be one city. Let's say it is Delhi, right? Sandbox could be a city like Bombay, for example, right? Now, if you look at the overall global scenario, there are multiple cities in 180 plus countries, which means the scope for the metaverse is far greater. There is an opportunity of being a virtual real estate landowner in the metaverse, flip land, if you like, right? Today, one of the easiest and the best examples of massive adoption of metaverse could be companies like Gucci and Nike, right? Really building up their own NFT strategy and selling off these NFTs as digital wearables for your avatars. So when you enter, let's say, a metaverse that's created by Decentraland or even Meta, as a matter of fact, you could use your Nike Air Force Jordans and walk in there and show your own style statement depending on what you own or what you own, right? Now, these are great aspects today, and that's where a lot of opportunities also open up for people who are not tech, right? If you're a great fashion designer, you understand style, and you wish to, let's say, design a pair of sneakers, or let's say you want to design a pagadi for people to, wear within the metaverse, right? You could do that and sell that off as an NFT. Hopefully, there could be a lot of buyers for something like that, right? So this is what we see today. But tomorrow, let's say by the age of 2032, this is my personal opinion. I feel at least 30 to 60% of us are going to be spending a majority of their time on the metaverse. Like we spend time on Zoom today, which was not the case, let's say, even by early 2020, things have changed. I feel this is what is going to happen to the metaverse as well. It's your new Zoom, it's your new virtual office space. You could have a bank in the metaverse that you could be visiting to do financial transactions. It's going to take DeFi everywhere. There's going to be NFTs for everything. NFTs could be your tickets to a concert that you visit in the metaverse or even in real life. NFTs could be your digital certificates, like your university issuing you a certificate for a degree well done. India just did a pilot of its central bank digital currency. In short, I would call this the e-rupee. Now, I think this is also great validation of what Web3 is. Till 2018, India was at a stance where they wanted to ban crypto. I think today, the Indian government, not just India, but even the US government or the Chinese government, they're rolling out their own digital currencies that has to compete with currencies like your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or various other currencies to be able to ensure that they also stay relevant, right? Carbon credits, I think our environment is getting seriously degraded by entire capitalistic revenue models. And I think that's where carbon credits come in. The current, conference that happened in Davos was proof of the fact that each country is taking carbon emissions very, very seriously. And, I think that's where the future is, to be able to trade carbon credits across the board, either through the metaverse or even on Web3 through various platforms like your Uniswap, for example. You could have a platform that could be used for companies to buy and sell carbon credits as at an open market. I see somebody had raised their hand. If it's not something that's pertaining to this, we have a Q&A session in the end. I would be happy to take all questions together, if you don't mind.
Perfect.
Right. We have a 10x growth expected. Now, I could be conservative on something like this, but today when we talk to various people, I'm deep in this space. I speak to a lot of people about their metaverse strategies and their NFT strategies and why should they even look at Web 3.0. And we stumbled across various aspects. The government of Maharashtra is starting to give out their degrees as NFTs. So the back end of it is all on the Ethereum blockchain to be able to ensure that no fake degrees are issued any further. The Calcutta government, the new Calcutta government, is trying to build its land mutation records on blockchain, right? So if the governments are adopting it, that's a great validation of the technology. And we feel that definitely a 10x growth in the next 10 years, if not more, is expected out of something like this. It's a $1 trillion market size by 2032. And I'm not including coins, not including market cap of Bitcoin or Ethereum. It is just the trading that happens within the market, from people building companies to contributing to the GDP, to people getting employed, to new revenue opportunities, etc. Some of the top jobs that we hear today, like a data scientist or even a community manager or a Solidity developer, are roles that we did not hear. I did not know what a Solidity developer was 5 years ago, right? The roles that would come up in terms of job opportunities in the next 5 years are still something that we don't know, right? I think one of the key aspects, I think, for everybody in the Web3 space is to be comfortable with ambiguity, right? You need to have a passion for solving problems, real world problems, and starting to look at things outside the box, right? 30% of the world will definitely be interacting with Web 3.0 in some form or the other, either buying or selling cryptocurrencies, which I feel is going to happen much sooner, or either having a metaverse avatar where they would be possibly attending 2 days of their office in the metaverse, or even going and visiting various avenues, let's say doing various virtual tourism through metaverse, or even going to the bank in the metaverse as well, right? Out of all Web3 aspects, today, I feel some of the best use case scenario to be able to ensure mass adoption is definitely DeFi. DeFi has an extremely strong use case. Today, you could lend and borrow without having a central intermediary. Now, the RBI tells you that there is a repo rate that you need to follow. But if you go to the open market in cryptocurrency and you wish to, let's say, loan out your stable coins, it depends on a bidding system. If there is somebody who's willing to offer you a 12% interest rate and you're okay with that, you are free to interact with that individual directly through the mode of smart contracts that builds a trustless system without you having to worry about what the government's rules are, or what you can do or what you cannot do. It opens up a whole range of newer opportunities. Your costs get reduced because everything is run out of smart contracts, right? Now, what happens when the companies start hiring lesser? There are newer opportunities. People are resilient. There will be more startups that come up. There could be people in this classroom who could be looking at starting up. And I think that's where these opportunities lie. Now, starting up creates new job opportunities. And I think that is where we feel that India as a country, but even Web3 globally, which is agnostic to location, has a fantastic opportunity of growth and has an opportunity for absorbing people from all segments, not just tech, not just marketing, not just community management, but also graphic designers, to people who are illustrators, to people who understand and appreciate art, to collectors, to people who like to enjoy running and run to on. So there are various aspects to gaming, for example. One of the most common, I think, I'm sure everybody's heard of this. This was massive on the news. JP Morgan Chase, one of the largest investment banks, did a test run of their blockchain called Onyx, and they did a currency swap between Singapore dollar and Japanese yen. And what this says is the fact that even large institutional banks, guys like JP Morgan, where Jamie Dimon, the CEO, had said that Bitcoin is a scam 5 years ago, now building their own blockchain and doing currency swap on something like this, right? So smart contracts, Web3 is immutable, builds trust, and is far cheaper, definitely the future, right? So I think interesting topic now begins. Jobs in DeFi. What are some of the jobs that you could, let's say, look at, right? You could be a developer if you're an IT-based credentials holder. I would definitely say being a developer is the most popular job opportunity today in Web3. This will not be the same after a few years. However, roles like project management, product management, doing institutional sales for DeFi companies, this is where I feel that the real opportunities are, because there is a lack of talent, there is a lack of transparency, and there is a lack of resources that are centralized, right? So people have to do their own research. And that is where roles like project management or even institutional sales to business development really show a lot of opportunity and growth options for individuals looking to make entry within the Web3 space.
And Harsim, let's say now these are all the jobs that are available in DeFi, right? Now, if I have to, let's say, know more about what you currently do, what's like your day-to-day job like, and what are the things that it impacts?
Sure. So I have currently, as you can see through my LinkedIn profile as well, I have my hands in a few cookie jars. I don't just work with one company. I have my own consulting firm called a Bridge Consulting. We do consulting on token economics. We create white papers for companies. We also do go-to-market strategies for companies looking to enter Web3, right? So these could be companies that are currently incumbents in the Web2 space and now looking at creating their own metaverse strategy or rolling out their own NFTs to be able to ensure that they have access to a newer range of users, which they never knew existed, right? I also work as an advisor on strategic advisory for a company called Astro Babies. So I spend about 2 hours of my day on Astro Babies, looking at development of the platform, where I double in also as a project and a product manager, right? I spend time on their token economics. We just recently did a launchpad sale on this company called Pinksy, which is a Binance Smart Chain based platform. We were hoping to raise 100 BNB, a very small amount, but still. And what we eventually ended up doing was we were able to successfully raise 688 BNB, which was about a 6.8x of our initial target that we were aiming to do, right? So I am very deeply involved with the guys at Astro Babies. Astro Babies currently is an NFT-based project run out of El Salvador, the only country today which recognizes cryptocurrency as legal tender. We're looking to build a casino in the metaverse and also a physical casino in El Salvador that would accept Bitcoin. For any enthusiast who sits on a lot of Bitcoin and does not know what to do with it, you're more than welcome to come down to El Salvador. Use the casino. By all means, we'll take you through various opportunities. And this parcel of land has been given to us directly by the government of El Salvador on 2 conditions and 2 conditions only. Number 1, we create job opportunities for local residents and that we promote the adoption of Bitcoin. And this is it, right? I also work with a blockchain development firm called AlgoBits, one of the top tier blockchain development firms. We build on everything from Solidity to Rust to Viper to building stable coins for various companies to, as someone said, a clone of Uniswap, which is an automatic market maker or a decentralized exchange to, let's say, trade NFTs, as a matter of fact, right? So we work on various things, and a lot of my time with AlgoBits is spent on the recruitment of people to interviewing candidates for either business development roles or even tech roles. So yeah, so I think I am involved, let's say, very, very deeply within this space, working on making sure partnerships with various blockchains happen. We speak to a lot of Oracle services to be able to ensure that information is passed on to our clients in a timely and accurate manner. And the rest of my time, I really spend on learning new things. Web3 requires you to really stay updated. So I use my time, whatever is left, on either upskilling myself or making sure that I go and attend all of these crypto events that are happening in the country. Token 2049 happens in Singapore, currently happening in London as well. So I make sure that I'm present wherever possible, connect with these individuals over LinkedIn and make sure that I have visibility so that people know what I'm doing And that's one of my biggest sources of, let's say, being able to secure new projects and build a name for my own self as well.
Perfect, perfect. So guys, now Harsim is somewhere in the intersection of having a successful job as well as a successful business, right? So he actually ticks both the marks. So for anyone who wants to build a business, Harsim is the go-to guy. For anyone who wants to know how to have a successful career, how to have a job in Web 3.0, Harsim is your go-to guy. Now, we understood one thing. We understood DeFi, right? We understood what all Web 3.0 is today, what all it would be in the next 10 years. One thing that would be standing out always would be DeFi, right? And we also have briefly discussed the kind of roles that would be there in DeFi, right? Post this, we have a very, very interesting, thing lined up for you, right? Wherein we'll want a volunteer for it, and then we'll go on to different websites. We'll check for you it's a good role for you and if you're the right fit for it or not. And we'll see a very simple way where you can check if you're a right fit for this role or not. A very, very, very simple way, right? So before moving ahead, it's already about 45 minutes into the session. Do you guys have any questions till now, or should we move ahead? You can just type in the chat and then we can proceed accordingly. Okay, Abhishek is saying move ahead and Shuman is saying move ahead. What about others? Okay, Dhanu has a question. Is problem solving important in NFT utility?
Yes, I think, I think if you're trying to sell something, it definitely needs to add value to an individual, right? So if you have a utility to your NFT project as compared to it just being a JPEG, you definitely stand a better option to make sure that your clients on board and they buy your NFT. So definitely, I think utility is an important aspect.
Interesting question. Now the question is by Anitesh. How much industry experience is needed? I am not for finance. I'm not from finance or any industry in the business of blockchain or Web 3.0.
Okay. If you look at the industry today, right, there is a shortage of real talent, right? So what that means, when there is a shortage and there is no supply, let's say there's a high demand and there is no supply, I don't see that there is a requirement of a minimum cap, if you want to call it that we need people with 3 years experience in Web3. But you could definitely start by upskilling yourself. We will further in the slides be talking about various things that you could possibly do to be able to make sure that you are a stronger candidate, you come across as a stronger candidate and you have some skills to show for it, right? But currently with the scenario, depending on what your passions are, I don't see a reason for you to have a minimum band of qualification, or let's say a minimum requirement in terms of experience at least.
Got it. So the question is by Chandrasekhar. His question is, what is the scope of real estate in Web 3.0?
A lot. Today, I think apart from NFTs being flipped, which is buying at price X and trying to sell it at a price X plus profit, the second biggest thing that is being flipped today in the NFT or the Web3 space is land parcels on metaverses. So definitely there is an aspect of being a real estate agent or being, let's say, bundle up few parcels of land and offering it to clients, selling it out on marketplaces. If not, there are opportunities of, let's say, being able to, let's say, be a digital architect to help clients build their virtual galleries, to virtual office spaces, to, doing any form of online design when it comes to, let's say, within the metaverse at least.
Perfect. Okay, so we can take one more questions and then we can move ahead. Right. The question is, what is the scope of cybersecurity in Web3?
I think today, one of the biggest deterrents of people trying to enter Web3 is the fact that there are lots of hacks today, right? Anything that grows well also attracts a lot of negative elements as well. Cybersecurity or just security in general within Web3 is, I think, a key criteria. It could be either being auditors that could, let's say, be auditing smart contracts for their immutability and safety aspects. But you could also be possibly be a forensic, forensics data analyst to be able to check where the scams are happening. And you could possibly be looking at, let's say, getting jobs with, let's say, the cybersecurity department of the country or the governments or even the cops to be able to participate and help wherever these scams happen and, find a career in something like this as well.
Yeah. So we can take one question by Rahul if you could stop spamming. Rahul, if you could please stop typing a question again and again. The question is, so MBA marketing job, any scope in Web3?
Lots. Again, any product that has been created needs to be marketed to individuals. And I think that's where MBA in marketing, whether you have an MBA or not, I think that's a subjective thing. It depends on what your real world understanding is. And marketing has various aspects from, making sure that you are relevant on social media to making sure that you are onboarding the right users, to creation of new partnership avenues, to managing communities on channels like Discord or Telegram or Twitter. So the scope is endless and depends entirely on what your passions are. And there's definitely a space for you to, make sure that you leave a mark in this as well.
Got it. What is the scope for now, guys? I'm so sorry, I'm boring you with my questions. Okay, so we can take two more questions and then we can move ahead. First question is by Krishna. As a 3D artist, are there any opportunities also as a UI UX designer?
Today, I think UI UX in the Web3 space is very, honestly, I'd say it's not up to the mark, right? If people who don't understand DeFi enter DeFi and try to interact, let's say, with your Uniswap or an Aave, for example, trying to use their MetaMask and trying to do a swap or anything of that sort, it becomes very complicated and most people just leave it midway, right? And I think this is definitely a UI UX issue. There is a need for better UI and better UX. And if you are passionate about figuring out what these problems are and you can find a solution, I think you've opened Pandora's box. And I think, you would really find a massive opportunity that presents yourself. You'll have more work than you can actually do.
Yeah. Perfect. So what's the scope? One last question and then we move forward. What's the scope for a front-end developer?
Again, front-end developer, again, based on UI, UX to, possibly working with softwares like, let's say, your Figma, etc. Right? There is a lot of scope. Every cryptocurrency company has to develop a DApp that is beautiful looking, that works seamlessly, has lowest amount of bugs, and is something that, is enticing to a user to be able to make sure that they don't leave the product, right? So opportunities, especially when it comes to a B2C model, where you're really trying to target individuals and not companies, there is a massive scope for both front-end and back-end developers, inclusive of UI, UX as well.
Perfect. Okay, great. So let's move forward.
Great. So we wanted to do a small exercise on a Web3 glossary, right? Some terms, I just read a few out, tell me if there is anything. Who all know what an airdrop is?
Okay, so I have to re-enable the chat. Okay, guys, you can let us know in the chat. Pooja says send out tokens to users.
Yes, in a way you could call it that. Yes, airdrop's one of the best ways for onboarding users within the Web3 ecosystem. Who could tell me what an alpha is within the DeFi space? Great. So Bhavesh has a good idea. It is your additional return on a benchmark. Right. We'll take a few more. What do you think a DAO is? Now, some of these questions are interesting to be able to understand. I would request as many people respond so that we understand the depth of people's understanding, so that we can, if I need to, let's say, speed up, or if I need to slow down, explain certain concepts much better, it will help me understand, the involvement and the understanding of people as well. Perfect. So decentralized autonomous organization, fantastic. We will be sharing this with everybody else as well after the class. There is, right? So we have the meaning and the explanation of each of these terminologies. We share this with you guys over the class, post it. So just go ahead and, just go through it. And if there's anything else, this is just a small snippet on what we intend to cover through our courses going ahead. But I felt these are certain key terminologies that people need to know to be able to sound or even act like crypto native folks.
Yeah.
Right.
Perfect. Guys, this would be shared with you later. No worries at all.
Right? Yeah, we'll definitely share it across. It's a Google Sheet, so you just definitely send across a link. Please go right ahead, make a copy, review it as and when required. We will be updating this gradually, so just make sure that you bookmark this in your tools or resources. I would recommend everybody to have a Chrome folder that is a Web3 folder, and make sure that some of these tools that we share are always there at easy access. And just to be able to keep updated, keep reviewing them once a week to be able to understand there's something new in there. It will keep you updated. If there's something that you don't understand, I think that's where you find a learning opportunity, and just dive deeper into something like that. Some of the most in-demand jobs today within Web3, right? Technical, I think we already touched upon it. Software developers, front-end, back-end, full-stack developers. There's a massive need for AI in Web3 as well. Data engineers who understand, let's say, languages like Python, etc., to be able to create dashboards for investors, or even DeFi protocols, I think is a massive demand. If you can write smart contracts or create decentralized applications, again, a massive opportunity and a very, very high demand role as well. On the non-technical side, community managers for all marketing folks, somebody who's more inclined towards program or product management. I think program roles and product management roles pose a fantastic opportunity for you to be able to see where your next opportunity lies. Content and content strategists, again, I think is extremely important because there is a lack of good quality content online. And if you have a knack for doing a lot of research and presenting it into small bite-sized content, definitely there is a lot of options, and you could be participating in the whole creator economy of Web3 by posting it on channels like Twitter. Instagram is now becoming extremely Web3 friendly as well. So there are lots of opportunities to not just be working for an organization, but be a Web3 influencer or a content creator and try to monetize this through various protocols like Lens, for example. Sales and BD, again, extremely simple to understand what the concept is. Law and other support functions. Today, regulations is very gray. If anybody here has a passion towards law or compliance, this, I think, by far is the lowest in terms of being fulfilled. And if you understand compliance, and if you're willing to, let's say, get into compliance, you don't necessarily need to have a legal degree unless you want to get into litigation or represent a company. But if you understand compliance, there is a massive opportunity within the regulatory side as well. These are some links to certain companies that you could use to be able to, let's say, find your next Web3 job. Web3.career is a fantastic resource. Cryptocurrencyjobs.co are entirely dedicated towards jobs on the Web3 side. Remote 3, if you're a person who's enthusiastic about taking on roles within the Web3 remote side of things, definitely check it out. A lot of job postings are posted here. Keep having a look, and just keep applying wherever and however. Of course, LinkedIn, Indeed, D-work is again something which is extremely interesting. We will get to it. I know that there was somebody who is a data scientist on this chat. I think we'll have something for you on D-work if you're absolutely keen. We can take it up in some time, right? If you're, let's say, not keen towards, let's say you are in a job where you're very, very comfortable, you possibly have a promotion coming very, very soon, and you want to try out Web3, you could try out companies like dwork.xyz, which has a lot of these bounties and small gig works that you could apply to and get, let's say, some form of revenue and form of validation towards your skill. You could look at JobScan or even, other companies that we had mentioned earlier. We will be sharing this with you guys, so you can always review it and have a look at it as well.
And Harsim, if you can maybe also take us through any, let's say, one of these platforms so that we can also see how it is.
Sure. I had actually opened up dwork somewhere here. Now, dwork is a decentralized application, so you'll have to connect it through your MetaMask if you wish to be paid through cryptocurrencies. But if not, you could actually just log in with your email ID and just open it like any other company or any other website. Now, dwork is an entirely decentralized website that posts various job roles. Some of the key ways to, let's say, get some experience is to possibly contribute to certain DAOs, right? So as you can see, there's this company or a DAO called Nation3, which has about almost 1,000 members. You could get into Nation3. They could be posting certain jobs that are required. Like, for example, they have ecosystem bounties, community bounties, development bounties. They have a legal guild, right? These are certain jobs, open tasks. So if you know somebody at the block, which is a marketing company, and you get them, let's say, listed, you get 0.2 Nation coins, which has certain values for $136, right? So you could take these up, take it up on your own time. If you make it happen, submit your proposal on dwork, and you will get rewarded in currency as well. Not to forget that this actually also builds up a lot of karma for yourself within the Web3 space. You're now going to be a part of a particular DAO, which gives you an experience. You understand what a DAO is, and you have major bragging rights as well, right? There are bounties. Now, for all the data scientists, there is a software or a platform called Dune Analytics, which is an on-chain data analytics platform. Now, these guys, so there's this company called Mazuri, right? They have a request to create a Dune Analytics dashboard showing the growth of Web3 social apps, right? So your goal is, so Mazuri will help you find the best talent. Using their Web3 credentials, we believe that the future everybody will be able to represent themselves professionally. They expect you or they require you to, let's say, collectively track the adoption of new generation of social apps like Lens, dwork, Mirror, etc. on this new Dune dashboard. They want you to cover all of these guys and make sure that some of these might not be available on Dune, some of these might be. And if you can submit this link, and you have 1,000 USDC, which is a stable coin, which is equal to $1,000, 400 USDC for the second place, and 100 USDC for the third place, right? So you can have the documentation right here. You can check it out, have a look. If you think you've done it and you've done it well, go right ahead, submit your work, and that is it. Then these guys will go ahead and connect with you. And if they select you, you just end up seeing money in your MetaMask directly. So these are great ideas, or let's say simple examples of what you could possibly be doing within the Web3 space, just to test the waters out, see what works for you, what does not work for you, right? There are a lot more bounties. If you keep scrolling, I think there are about 40 pages of bounties. I'm sure there's a little bit for everybody. For social media guys, there's a Twitter takeover, right, by Meta Builders. This is something that you could possibly take a shot at. There's a Graph SQL, right, snapshot strategy for all your data scientists, for architects or people who understand design. There's a CAD for MoonDAO. So I think there is a little bit for everybody. Just to keep checking this out. This could be a great way to get some hands-on experience on your Web3 journey.
Perfect.
Any questions so far, guys? I know this is, maybe I moved a little bit fast through D work, but there anything, I'm happy to address them.
Yeah. So guys, any questions, please put it in the chat. D work is very, very good for all those folks who actually want to, take up a project that they can, work part-time. If they want to build some kind of understanding of various rules that are there, so you can maybe take up small projects on D work, right? So that you're not committing too much, and whatever you're doing currently, if you're doing a job, if you're studying somewhere, you keep on doing it side by side, right? So it's a very good thing from that perspective, and then you can also put it and showcase it in your resume also, right? Okay, Chandrasekharan is asking where to start Web3. Now, there is some breakage in the language, but I'm assuming Web3 learning from scratch. So, Chandrasekharan, there are multiple sources. We also have our own program, a 3-month program, which we have been running for quite some time now, which is actually focused on tech professionals as well as non-tech professionals, wherein we actually help you, we guide you not only on what project should you be choosing for the betterment of your career, but also teaching you in terms of what all is today there in Web 3.0, making you relevant, and then whatever skill is required, then you can choose a skill of your, or a specialization of your liking. So if you're, let's say, techie, you can go and specialize for 2 months in just a tech-based role after the 1 month of basics. If you're, let's say, non-techie, if you just want to do project management, or if you want to do something like a community management, then you can work with some other expert and accordingly, upskill yourself, right? So Harsim also, takes a lot of classes in that, and then he would be also guiding you once you come up there, right? Okay. Anitesh is asking, are these part-time research projects or business development projects on debug?
Oh, you could find any. As I said, there is a little bit for everybody. It's a decentralized job marketplace, if that is the term I would like to call it as. So there are roles. We could actually go back to it and see it. But as you can see, so there are. Let's say this is for let's say your data scientists. There's something for Twitter, which could be marketing. There could be a digital drawing. So this could be something that could be for your illustrators, right? 40 pages of various open source jobs. So try it out. Hopefully you should be able to find something that's totally up your alley, and give it a shot. It's definitely, I think, one of the best ways to get some experience within Web3.
Okay, Bishwamitra has a question. If someone wants to shift their career, what are the best tools?
If you're tech, definitely getting into Solidity or Rust development. If you're not tech, I think start with community management. A community management role will give you a lot of insight. It will teach you what the community wants. It will give you opportunity areas, and it will also ensure that your terminologies that you use on everyday basis with crypto native folks is on point. And you will eventually be able to also develop a massive amount of network just because you're in this space.
Okay. And Harsim, if we have time, maybe we can take one question by unmuting someone.
Sure.
Monish has actually unmuted him. Sorry, has raised a hand. Monish, if you can maybe, ask your question. Monish, we cannot hear you. You have to, this an unmute.
Monish is on mute.
In front of your screen. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening. Everyone can hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yes, loud and clear.
I just wanted to ask the 2 websites that was mentioned, DWork and App Job Scan. So
yeah,
I don't have a technical background. So as Sir said, that you can start with community management. So it's possible to pick up part-time community management jobs on DWork.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you build up your credibility there, and then you can transition to JobScan for something more full-time. That would be all right.
You could actually go on to various other platforms as well. So there's web3.careers as well. That's a slightly more full-time role focused platform as well. So I would definitely say that keep a check. Not all companies post on all platforms. Some of them are specific to each. So just make sure that you're updated and just keep this in your bookmark, for example, to make sure that you're keeping a tab. But I definitely feel that if Web3 is new to you, I think understanding the terminology and the psyche of the people that you're going to be working with is absolutely essential.
Okay, just one follow-up question. It won't take long. So if someone wants to transition into a technical role, like say programming, it would be possible to start with community management, get your hands across with the terminology and the psyche, as you said, build up some projects, and then move into something like programming or development?
Not really. I think community management is more marketing based.
Okay.
If you're looking to transition into tech, you would have to go ahead and put the grind in to be able to learn these programming languages like C++, Solidity, Rust, or Viper. I would not say that they're very, very difficult. Depends entirely on your aptitude, right?
All right.
I know a lot of people who've learned it in 8 months and are now fantastic developers. I know a lot of people who've tried it for a couple of years and still struggle with it.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Great questions, Manish. Perfect. Pro user is asking, so which programming language should we learn to become Web3 developer?
I think I've been saying this quite a lot of times, at least Solidity. If you're looking at something that is EVM compatible, which is for blockchains like your Binance Smart Chain or Ethereum. If you're, let's say, more inclined towards Solana, then definitely a language like Rust. But you should definitely have your basics on C++ on point.
Okay. Indrajit is asking an interesting question. What is the bare minimum skill set to start Web3 profession?
Again, I think you should have a passion to learn and a small understanding on what Web3 is. Without knowing what Web3 is and what is it that you can contribute, it's going to be very, very difficult to even land a gig.
Yeah. Okay. So Dhanu is asking, what's the best job finding website for non-tech?
Cryptocurrenciesjob.co. It is already on the page right here. You can check out web3.career or cryptocurrenciesjobs.co. Both of them are fantastic. What cryptocurrenciejobs.co does for you is that it would segregate job openings by non-tech.
Okay. And these are full-time openings, or can folks also get some kind of gig jobs here also? Or they have to go on dwork.xyz?
No, there are actually, I only mentioned a few of these. Every day, I believe there is a new gig work company coming out in the Web3 space. We will expand this list as and when, we get the time and we find something that's actually something that has a lot of listings. A company with 2 listings or 3 listings is not really worth your time. But for now, I think if you're looking at certain roles, this is your best bet. Not to forget LinkedIn or your conventional models like Indeed or, multiple, job hunting platforms as such.
Okay. So Ratna has a question. I have knowledge of Solidity and Hyperledger. Is that sufficient?
Yes. If you're looking to build something in Hyperledger, yes, you definitely. I think depends on what you're looking to build.
Okay. Chandrasekharan is asking, is there any age criteria to enter into Web 3.0?
Well, you need to be legal age to be able to work. I think apart from that, it's all right.
Perfect. Okay. So guys, it's now, I had a question for all of you. Now, आपने question पूछे, आपने बहुत सारे question पूछे हैं. अभी हमारी बारी, ठीक है? So I just have a poll, ठीक है? Now this poll is actually called an NPS poll, right? So the question is very, very simple. If you had to recommend this session by Harsim to your friends, colleagues, or someone in the family on a scale from 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, how likely are you to recommend this session? So in front of your screen, I have actually launched the poll, so you can fill it accordingly. So if you're going to, let's say, refer to your friends, then you need to rate 9 or 10. If you're a neutral, like you would neither recommend nor you would say anything against it, then it is a 7 or 8. If you would say, boss, no, you shouldn't be attending it, then it's a 6 or below. Right? So 9 and 10 if you're a promoter, 7 or 8 if you're a neutral, 6 or below if you're a detractor. Right? So I would request each and every one of you to please do fill it up. It actually gives us feedback. For us also, it's very important to know whatever sessions that we're doing, what kind of value do we deliver, and our folks who are sitting here, are they enjoying it or not, right? How do we better ourselves? So please, I would request, the poll is in front of your screen. Just fill in whatever you feel is the right option for you. Okay, Laveen is asking, sorry, sir, I missed today's session. I'm non-tech, but very much interested in this technology. So Laveen, you just attend this session. There's still a lot left today. So at any point of time, in case you, let's say, want to see what happened earlier, I'll actually share a recording post this class, right?
Great. So let's continue.
Yeah. Perfect. Let's go ahead.
Are we done with the poll?
Yeah, we are.
Okay, great. All right. So I think this again is, let's just say, in a step-by-step manner. If you're looking to, let's say, build a career in Web3, I think today your step number one should definitely be to scale up, right? Get some practical knowledge. Use MetaMask, download Phantom Wallet, do some swaps on Uniswap, interact with OpenSea, buy some NFTs if you believe in it. I'm not endorsing it. But if you believe in something, definitely do certain activities. Try your hand on this DeFi and either, just buy some cryptocurrencies, read about them, learn about token economics. That is where you really start. Practice certain interview questions. One of the most popular interview questions that we ask our candidates is, what is your favorite blockchain and why? Right? This is a very subjective answer. Somebody might like SIA, somebody might like Solana, somebody might like Bitcoin, as a matter of fact. So again, there is no right or wrong answer, but definitely, I think it depends on how you justify it and what your reasoning are. That's where you really stand out, right? Keep updated with the job posts to find your niche. Not everybody is a tech person. Not everybody can be a community manager, but I do believe that Web3 has something for everybody. Just make sure that you keep updated and find something that works for you, and just keep applying. We are right here if there's anything that you require help on. Build a presence. I think I cannot emphasize enough on this. Visibility is everything, right? Make sure that you're on LinkedIn, you're on all of these platforms. You have let's say, your target company that you wish to join. Make sure that you're part of their Discord, you're actively involved, get certain roles on Discord, participate in their Telegram EMAs. You could do an open source project. If you think you're not a tech person and maybe doing an open source project might not be something that you might be interested in, write an ebook, create certain videos, participate in podcasts, right? Or even attend podcasts and ask questions, ask some great questions that make sure that people recognize you and you also feel slightly more confidence towards possibly taking the leap further. Network, extremely important. It is not really about what you know, but it's always about who you know. And I think that's where a network comes in. Various Web3 events. I'm assuming a lot of us are out of India. Bangalore by far is your top city for Web3 events, followed very closely by cities like Mumbai and Delhi. Definitely visit these Web3 events in your city. Make connections with the people you connect with, either through LinkedIn. Also create a profile on Lens. You could have your own first name .lens and have that shown up on your Twitter, LinkedIn, to be able to sound and be more crypto native, to be able to make sure that you come across as a very, very strong candidate as well. Participate in Discord and Telegram chats to be able to keep updated and also understand what the community is talking about, what the jargons are, right? And this will just kind of keep you slightly more updated, and it would keep you more competitive as well. D-Work is a great example to take on gig roles. You do a few gig roles and you get paid. You could call this, let's say, a great validation for your own skill set to be able to understand whether Web3 is something that works for you, right? It's not for everybody. It might be for somebody, Again, I think it entirely depends on the effort that you're willing to put in, but the rewards are massive. Within the trading community, if I have to say, I think your risk to reward ratio in Web3 is far greater than any other industry today, right? You could possibly contribute to a DAO, you could do that agile work. There are various other platforms which are also Web3 hosting platforms. Definitely check them out. We'll give you a list at the end of this class. Participate wherever you can, do some bounties, get some presents, that's again, it's great. For all new entrants in this space, people who are talking about age barrier, right? People who are just getting off university, take on certain internships, even if it's for free, does not matter. But make sure that you get some experience, participate in this ecosystem. That is the only way to really build some good quality skills, right? Learn and grow. I think that's your top, let's say that's the end of your evolution within, let's say, Web3. Take on certain consulting projects like we do, right? Participate in, let's say, development of token economics. You could participate in auditing. If you're great on statistics, you could participate in token economics audits by doing, let's say, various analysis, right? You could create your own startup. You could take on jobs or even gig roles to be able to make sure that you're in this economy. You're in there. Once you're aware, you know what the current trends are. You can take an informed decision only once you're aware, and you can really decide if this is something that's for you. If yes, then just go deeper into the rabbit hole.
Yeah. Perfect. So guys, we have a quiz that we have lined up for you, wherein you would actually get a lot of prizes also. But before that, we actually had surprise at a very small thing that we wanted to teach you and also do with you guys, right? So we had in the agenda, if you remember at the start of the session, we actually said that we'll be discussing three things. The first was why this is the right time, or why should you be getting a job into Web3, right? Second was how would you be getting a job into Web3? Third, if you remember, was that how would you check where do I lie in my, in getting a job into Web3? Where do you stand today, right? Do you remember? These were the three agendas, right? Now, we have discussed the first two things, right? Why you should be getting a job and how you can actually get the job, right? The third is still left, where do I lie? Right? So we had planned a small activity, a 5-minute activity. We need a volunteer who would actually, will go on LinkedIn, will choose a job of his or her liking that could be there in Web3. And then we'll check if how, close he is in terms of landing that job or not, right? So anyone who's here for this thing can raise their hand and we are, all set. Okay, I can see Manish. But Manish has already participated. So Manish, you would be given a second chance if nobody else participates. Okay. So we have Pooja. Pooja, can you please switch on your video also? And can you also please unmute yourself?
Hello everyone. I can't switch on my video because I am connected with system, not laptop.
Achha, no issues, no issues. So Pooja, can you just give a brief about yourself? What are you doing right now and what kind of job do you aspire?
Right now I'm working as a software engineer. I have a 5 years of experience and currently my position is senior front-end developer, and I do Web3 projects, and I'm working on EasyFi and Trace Network Labs. So where I build front-end, integrate smart contracts using Web3 library, Ethers.js, and I do these kinds of stuff.
Perfect. So Harsim, do you think we can do the exercise with Pooja?
Sure, definitely. I think it's a good, strong candidate. I think we can definitely try it out.
Okay, perfect. So Pooja, what we'll do is we'll go on to LinkedIn. We'll search for different jobs for developer, front-end developer that are actually there in Web3 space, right? Once we let's say find a good one, then we require your resume for it. So you can just maybe share your resume with me or Harsim, right? And then we can see how well fit or how well designed the resume is it right now, right? So what you can do is, if you're sitting on your PC, I suppose you can just email me your resume. I can just put my email in the chat.
Sure.
Right. So till the time you're doing it, me and Harsim, we can go on to LinkedIn, and we can find a very good job for you. Okay. Okay. So my email ID is in the chat. You can just send your resume quickly here. मतलब need not be the latest one. आप कोई भी भेज दो. It's just कि कैसे करना है वो हमें understand करना है.
So what are we looking for? Front end?
Yeah, front end.
So let's say.
I just shared.
Okay, thank you.
Great. So I'm just going to take this because I feel it is a crypto company and it is a software development engineer on level 3 front end. It's a mid-senior level position, right? We have a reasonable amount of job description as well. So this could work efficiently for us to be able to, let's say, see how your CV is optimized and what your chances are of, let's say, being able to get your recruiter to reach out to you post this conversation. So I personally, there are multiple tools online. There's something called an ATS, an applicant tracking system. Most companies, which are large companies, receive about an approximate amount of about 300 to 400 resumes for each job application they get, right? Now, a human being who is reviewing your resume at the end of the day has no time to really, read 400 odd resumes and dissect everything. So that's where software comes in. So there is a software called applicant tracking system that could be used to be able to, eliminate various CVs and just find CVs that have the right fit when it comes to, let's say, finding the right candidate for the job description that you have, right? So I use something called JobScan. It's a free tool. It gives you about 5 scans a month, right? So we could, let's say, I'm going to delete everything. So we did a trial run this afternoon, right? So we pick up the job description of Pooja. Is this a job that you could be interested in?
Engineer third. Okay. Maybe. Yeah.
Cool. Okay, let's try this out. Okay. Harman, have you sent me the JD?
Yeah, over your email, as well as I've also done it a WhatsApp to you.
Okay, perfect. Let's open it up.
Perfect. So guys, for all the non-tech folks, it's again the same. मतलब आपको LinkedIn पे जाना है. You just copy the job description and you go on the website that I have just shared in the Zoom chat. You can just bookmark it for you. It's app.jobscan.co, right? So in a month, we actually get 5 free scans.
There are various tools like this. This is just one of the many. You just go on Google, type in resume optimizing tools or something of that to the liking of that, and I'm sure multiples will turn up. Go right ahead and try it out. I think this is something which is a very, very good, efficient model to be able to ensure that your CV does get some visibility. Okay, so this says, so usually to be able to ensure that you have a good score, and let's say your resume eventually passes, your HR passes your resume on to the recruiting manager, you want to be looking at a match rate of about 75% or above, right? let's say this particular software would tell you, okay, so it says missing scan information, right? We can add a few things. Front-end developer, company name is what? Was it CoinDesk?
Yeah, it's coin switch.
Okay. All right, so I think the score is initial low match is normal. For a quick boost, begin by adding missing hard skills, right? So for example, we could go down and have a look at this. Like your job description expects you to mention UI at least 3 times. You don't have a single mention on your resume, right? Front end 3 times, you have it once. JavaScript twice, you have it once. There are certain keywords. Now, these are hard skills, like skills that are mentioned aggressively within the job description, which is always good to have it mentioned within your resume to be able to ensure that the resume pops up and your recruiter eventually ends up, speaking to you or sending you an email. Highlighted skills. So at least these skills that are mentioned on top, Node.js, iOS, Web3, JavaScript, front-end, UI, UX, right? These are something that you should try to go back again, review your resume and apply specifically to each job, keeping in mind what the requirements are and whether your CV is actually optimized for the particular role or not. Same goes for soft skills. Committed, twice mentioned, drivens. Now, this is specific to each job. Of course, you'll have to tailor your CV accordingly, but a very, very efficient tool to ensure that your score goes up higher and you end up getting some form of validation from this. And then hopefully you get a call from the recruiter. And if you get a call from the recruiter, 50% of your job is already done. Now it's just depending on making sure that you're prepared for the interview and you crack it. So coin switch, crypto users, better. So now these are other keywords which don't really have a lot of score impact, but always nice to make sure that they're always mentioned. So it's 543 words in your resume, which is under the suggested 1,000 word. So you have a lot of scope really to add a lot more, talk a lot more about yourself. If you're writing something on your resume, always make sure that you say that I did this to be able to achieve this, and this is what the result was, right? So if you're more goal oriented in your description of your job that you've done, you have a much better chance of landing a job, right? Measurable results. We found 2 mentions of measurable results in your resume. Consider adding at least 5 specific achievements, etc. Right? So I know, Pooja, this is just an example, right? But I really appreciate you really, putting yourself out there and, sharing your resume with us and us trying to do this. But I think this could be a great tool for everybody trying to look for a job within the Web3 space. I think recruitment still is run in the more conventional sense, where we look at resumes, evaluate people through their resumes before we end up getting into a conversation. So this is the link that I will share with everybody post this call, right? And this is something that I think every single time that you now henceforth apply, especially to larger organizations, which when you see a job posting has about 300 odd applications in, you need to ensure that your CV is optimized for an applicant tracking system so that you pop in front of the HR. Otherwise, it is just going to be another number in the pile and you can expect never getting a call from them.
Yeah. Perfect. So guys, did you learn something new today? Let's say, from all the things that we discussed today, it's been about 90 minutes in today's session. Right? If you could just let us know in the chat, yes, no, right? So was this session, let's say, good for you? Did you, whatever time you have spent here, was it worthwhile? Chalo, nice. So now let's go on to another fun kind of a session wherein I'll ask a question from each of you. You would have to, give the answers. all the folks actually give answers post the session, you would actually be given prizes also, right? So we'll give you some good resources, some good videos that you can go and look for, right? Something that can actually help you build, get ahead, simply a small step in your career, right? Okay, perfect. So are we ready for it? I have 3 polls that I'll conduct. So nobody needs to answer it in the chat. I'll mute the chat for some time, and post that we can actually again resume the chat. Okay, so the chat has been stopped. So we'll be starting with the questions one by one. Simple questions, need not worry. You can take your time, but everyone needs to answer. Okay, chalo, it's all that we discussed today. Okay, so Harsim, can we move on to the next question? Next slide, please. Okay, so guys, the first question, what is the expected growth, year-on-year growth of Web3 till 2030? So we discussed this somewhere, right? You have 4 options in front of your screen, 4.1, 14.1, 24.1, and 41.6, right? I'm launching a poll. Whatever you feel is the right answer, you can just select that answer, right? The poll is in front of your screen. For each correct answer, you win 1 prize, right? Perfect. So guys, quickly, we have 2 more questions. So jaldi answer kariye. Okay, we can wait for another 10 seconds. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, perfect. So for 80% of the folks have actually answered D, and D is actually the correct answer. So Web 3.0 industry is actually touted to grow at 41.65% year on year, and that actually makes it one of the fastest growing industries in the world, right? One of the fastest growing industries in the world. Just imagine the kind of opportunity that it would create in a lot of different sectors that it would impact, right? Perfect. So now let's move on to the next question. Okay. So the question is, why should someone have a job in Web 3.0? A, work from anywhere. Salaries are 2x. Shortage of talent. D, all of the above. Right? So let me share another poll. You can just choose the right answer in the chat, right? Oh, sorry, in the poll. Okay, the poll is in front of your screen. What is the correct answer, guys? Okay, I'm so sorry. The poll is wrong. Okay, so let's end this. Let's end this. So there should be 4 options. So there are only 3 options. I'm so sorry. So I'll create another poll till the time, Harsim, if we can move on to the next question.
Sure.
Okay. What is the best website to find gig or part-time jobs? Is it dwork? Is it LinkedIn? Or is it web3.career? Right? Okay. So you can choose whatever is the right option. Perfect, guys. So you can do it quickly. Okay, so we can wait for another 5 seconds. Quickly, guys, if someone is left, you can just put in the right option. Okay, so I'm ending the poll. So Harsim, majority 77% folks say dwork.xyz. Is it the most optimum answer?
Well, I'd say yes. According to the class today, definitely. I think dwork for gig roles for sure.
Perfect. Very good work, guys. So let's come on to the question that we had missed, right? So I need to relaunch it. Let me see if I corrected the poll, but let me see if it's loading correctly. Okay, it's still not. So we'll not be taking this question today. So we have taken 2 questions, right? And we'll be deciding the winners on the basis of that. Okay, perfect. Perfect, guys. So I'm going to open the chat once again, right? So this was the, so next we actually had to take the NPS, but I suppose NPS we've already taken your ratings. Perfect. So now guys, how many of you are actually interested to build a career in Web3? Can you just let us know in the chat? And why I'm asking this is because we actually have a 3 months program wherein we actually mentor a lot of folks to actually build their career in Web3. Now it could be tech, it could be non-tech. So you could be a person who's already a developer, only wanting to shift into Web3. You could be a person who's not a developer wanting to get a developer job. You could be a person who actually wants to have some projects. Maybe you're a student who wants to have some projects under his name, right? So that whenever you start your career, you actually have an advantage. Or you could be maybe in some other traditional field, maybe sales, maybe marketing, maybe operations, and then you actually want to shift into Web3, right? And then you want to have, let's say, similar kind of role, or if not something else in Web3, you want to explore it, right? So what we have is we have this 3-month program. It's more kind of a college degree. So college degree mein kya hota hai? The initial first semester or first 2 semesters is actually the same for everyone, be it in any field, right? आप चाहे कंप्यूटर साइंस के हैं, चाहे आप मेटा के हैं, आपको सेम सब्जेक्ट मैथमेटिक्स के पढ़ने पड़ते हैं, आपको सेम वो इंग्लिश वो सारा कुछ पढ़ना पड़ता है. तो in us also, within the 3 months, the first month is actually the same for everyone, which is actually there to set the base for everyone, to let you know what all is there today in Web3, right? In both technical terms as well as business terms. This is very good for all the folks who are already into Web3, but this is exceptional for those folks who actually want to start their career into Web3, because first of all, they cannot choose today wherein they want to be. Do they want to be in DeFi? Do they want to be in NFT? Do they want to be in Metaverse? Where do they want to be, right? What industry do they want to be? So the first 1 month is there for you to learn about all there is, what's the scope, and where do you want to be, right? Post 1 month, each and every one is asked a question. Boss, आपको किस चीज में स्पेशलाइजेशन करना है? Wherein do you want to specialize in, right? So if you want to specialize in Solidity or C++ and want to land a tech-based job, right? So then we actually give you classes on the basis of that. So then there are different experts. We have an expert who's actually from Bangalore. He has his own startup. I will not call startup now. It's a very successful company called Sumeru. He's been running for the past 14 years. And he actually not only takes projects from across all globe into Web3, but actually helps and mentors a lot of students to get into Web3, right? Especially into the technical aspect of the part. So he actually makes you very, very good coder. Okay. Then we have another experienced professional who's been into 25 years into the field of finance. And then since 2015, he has been into blockchain and Bitcoin. So he's a very good marketing professional. So someone who wants to go into marketing, Munish Batra is someone who would actually be helping you with marketing. If someone wants to go into community management role or content creation role, Utkarsh, we have Utkarsh, who's actually the head of entrepreneur.com, the Web3 division of entrepreneur.com. So he would be actually helping you with how to build your career as a content developer, as a community manager, right? And if you want to go into a role as a product manager, as a project manager, right, as a consultant, right, then Harsim would actually be guiding you on all these things and also being a mentor to you for the next 3 months. Right? So this is the plan. How many of you would actually be interested in such a program? If you could just let us know, just to get an idea, right? If you could just type yes in the chat, or maybe me, something, anything. Right? So our program for all of the folks who are interested, so we'll actually be starting on December 3rd. It would start from December 3rd, 2022, and it will continue. The sessions, the intense sessions would actually continue till 3rd of March 2023. So it would be classes. So in a week, you could expect 3 classes followed by projects and assignments. So assignment के लिए आपको 1 या 2 दिन मिलेंगे. So it would be, let's say, if today was a class, you are given an assignment. By the next class, there is a deadline. You have to submit it. In case it's a project, then it depends कि it is an individual project or a group-based project. For different specializations, it's different. So if it's a content management role, then it's a singular kind of thing. It's a more project kind of a role. Then it's a team-based thing, because then you have to lead a team, you have to design, you have to plan, you have to execute. Right? And then we also help you getting those projects which actually shine on your CV, and then also get you interview in different firms wherein we also refer you that these are the folks we ourselves have trained, right? Harsim can put in a word, we can put in a word, and then you have a, let's say, backdoor access to the interview. And if you get an interview in Web3, it's said that 50% of your job is done, right? And Harsim has also told me that for all the folks, all the outstanding folks in tech, जो टेक में आएंगे, हरसिम उनमें से कई लोगों को हो सकता है अपनी फर्म में भी हायर करें, राइट? सो दीज आर द अपॉर्चुनिटीज दैट आर देयर, right? So I know a lot of folks are interested. So Harsim, if you can take us to the next slide, I can let everyone know the details. And whoever is interested, you can sign up. In case you sign up today, there is also a discount that is available, right? So just like I mentioned, this is a 3 months boot camp based on Web3. You learn the basics of cryptocurrency, Web3, what all is there. We learn about how to develop smart DApps, smart contracts from the industry experts using Solidity and C++. If you want to, if you're a non-tech guy, then there are other many career options. We actually learn how to manage communities, how to land a job in community management, how to get into project as well as product management. If you even have your own, company, you want to start your own business, this can actually help you in how can you build your career, or how can you actually pitch in front of different VCs. Joseph says you don't teach Rust. So Joseph, I'm so sorry. We focus more on C++ and Solidity in our program. Rust we do not focus on. The idea is we actually want to not teach you a language, but the concepts that are there, right? So the idea is if you're a developer, if we can teach you the concepts that actually make Web3 development, blockchain development unique, then any language is just a choice of yours, and then you can easily replicate it, right? So Agnes says, any trainer available for Web3? Agnes, if you can be more specific, because there are different trainers who actually teach you. Like Web3 is actually a culmination of a lot of things. So in this program, we teach you all those things. So you need not worry about anything. Right. So Harsim, if you can take us to the next slide, I can let everyone know about the price and everything. And in case you enroll today, so you can see in front of your screen, for the first 10 enrollments who are going to enroll today, the actual program fees is actually 20,000, but because of this being a Sunday afternoon class, there's a 50% discount that is there. And for all the folks who are going to enroll today, the price would be 9999, right? We'll start from 3rd of December onwards to 3rd of March 2023. What we'll do is we'll have a separate learning management system built on our website. But for all the folks who are actually going to join, what we'll do is we'll create a separate WhatsApp group. We'll create a separate WhatsApp group along with Harsim and other instructors. So for the first 1 month, starting tomorrow onwards, the WhatsApp group would be created. So you would be in touch with Harsim. अगर आपको कोई consultation वगैरह करना है, if you want to discuss anything, you can actually get in touch with him along with all other experts. So you can have a discussion with them, right? Post the first month, whatever specialization you are choosing, then there would be different WhatsApp group. But starting this month में informal communication ज़्यादा रहेगा. थोड़े बहुत आपको free resources हम share कर देंगे that you can go through. If there is any prerequisite, वो आपको share कर देंगे. बहुत ज़्यादा कुछ होता नहीं है because we actually start from बिल्कुल basics. If you are a complete beginner, once you come on 3rd of December, you can actually learn the entire thing. So need not worry about that at all, right? So for all the folks who are interested, the classes timing would be English, so need not worry about that at all. All the classes are actually recorded. And in case you miss any class, we have some separate one-on-one sessions with our other, partners also. So these are not trainers, but then these are folks who have actually done the course already, and then they help us with the doubts and everything, right? So if you want that kind of session, agar aapka session miss ho gaya tha, that is always there, right? The classes would be alternate days. So not every day class would be there. The idea would be कि हफ्ते में हम 3 classes करा करेंगे, and that would be after working hours. So 7 p.m., 8 p.m. around हमारा classes रहा करेगा. And whenever we have a class, each and every class would be recorded. So the recording आपको मिलेगी. हर class के बाद assignment रहेगी, and assignment would be mandatory. So we actually maintain a leaderboard for each and every month, and then students are actually ranked on the basis of that, and the opportunities also present accordingly, right? So it then it actually motivates everyone to push themselves and perform extra hard, right? Because वो leaderboard रहता है और कुछ top के students को ज़्यादा opportunity मिलती है, so everyone pushes themselves to be in the top, right? So only thing that is required that I've seen from my 6 months of experience to remain in the top is you be diligent, you do all the assignments, because assignments are designed in such a way that you understand all the concepts, you be active in all the classes, and you come early, then anyways you get ahead of everyone else. Perfect. So abhi whoever is interested, guys, what I'm going to do is in the chat I'm going to share the enrollment link. आप वहां पे जाके quickly enroll कर सकते हैं. आप जैसे जैसे enroll कर रहे हैं, I'll be confirming your enrollment in the chat itself, right? मैं आपको confirm करता जाऊंगा. In the chat, I have put the enrollment link, right? So you can quickly go and enroll there, right? Nilesh, since you enrolled last month, तो हमारा हर महीने एक master class होता है. Nilesh has enrolled last month, so Nilesh, your enrollment is confirmed. Very good. For all the other folks who are going to enroll, for the first 10 folks, the price would be 9999, right? So someone is asking, certificate would be there. Yes, the certificate would be there. It would be signed by Harsim as well as our founder. So need not worry. You would get a certificate which you can actually showcase, and a lot of firms actually accept it, right? Perfect. So guys, जैसे जैसे आप enroll कर रहे हैं, I'll give you a confirmation in the chat. If you have any doubt, just raise your hand. I know कुछ कई बार doubt भी होते हैं, right? You can just keep on raising your hand, and we'll be happy to answer your questions, right? Okay, Akshit, can you please unmute yourself? Akshit, you have raised your hand. Can you please unmute yourself? Okay, if not, Akshit, we can move on next. Guys, you can just keep on
Hello.
raising.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, go
Am I
ahead.
audible, sir?
Yeah, you are.
I am not available from 2nd to 12th December. Is
Okay.
there any other month or date for that, or what about?
Just a moment, Akshit. So 3rd is a Sunday. So 3rd is a Saturday. So we'll start our session on Saturday, 3rd of December, I'm talking. So then for the next 1 month, you aren't available, right? Akshit, you're on mute.
Okay. Basically, मैं 2nd से 12th December तक available नहीं हूँ.
ठीक है. So Akshit, what
वो
will
1 week आप समझ लीजिए.
समझ गया. So no issues. आपकी ना तकरीबन 4 classes miss होंगी, right? So 4 classes would actually be on the basis on the what is blockchain and on what it is based, right? So we'll talk more on that. So what we'll do is after each and every class, we'll actually share the recordings with all the students. If you have time, you can just go through the recordings. Else, whenever you come, we can actually have separate session with one of our teaching partners, who's of course not an instructor like Harsim, but then they can clarify all your doubts. Right? Okay, Akshay, perfect. So we have shared the enrollment link in the chat. You can go and enroll there. Perfect. Okay. So guys, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the permission for everyone to directly unmute themselves. आपके जितने भी क्वेश्चन हैं, आप अपने आप को खुद ही अनम्यूट करते जाइए. And I'll be, Harsim can answer those questions or I can answer those questions. Till the time, जो भी लोग enroll कर रहे हैं, जिन्होंने भी enroll कर लिया है, I'll be just confirming your enrollments in the chat. Just give me a moment. I need to just go on a different page. आप आपको खुद ही unmute करके अपने question please पूछते रहिए. Or you can even put it in the chat. I suppose the chat is now open. नहीं तो आपके जितने भी question हैं आप पूछ सकते हैं. So Harsim, there's a question in the chat. Someone has asked me. वो कह रहे हैं कि 3 months में what all projects can I take if I want to go for a product management kind of a career?
You mean projects outside as such?
हाँ.
You see, I think depends on you. If you're looking to take on a project, if it's an open source project, I very seriously doubt that something will get done within a matter of 3 months. But you should definitely be looking at committing at least 6 months if it's a tech sort of role. But if it's non-tech, marketing, etc., definitely 3 months is a timeline which you could envisage spending on any form of a non-tech position as
well. Perfect. And just to get an idea, guys, so I just wanted to launch a poll. So who all are actually interested to sign up for this program? आप एक बार मैंने एक poll launch करा है wherein you can type your name and number, so I have a clear idea. Right? So you can just put in your name and your number in the chat. For all the folks who started enrolling, the team would actually be confirming your enrollments in a while. Right? पर जो भी लोग अभी यहाँ पे बैठे हैं जिन्होंने enroll करना है, क्या आप प्लीज अपना नाम और नंबर इस पोल में डाल देंगे? Perfect. So we can have this poll open. तो आप लोग प्लीज डालते रहिए. तब तक in the chat will actually confirm all the enrollments that are coming. Perfect. So there's someone by the name Amit Raju. Amit, your enrollment is confirmed. Just give me a moment. Perfect. So guys, for all the folks who are interested to enroll, जिन्होंने अभी enroll नहीं करा है, for all the folks who have enrolled, it's well and good. But जिन्होंने enroll नहीं करा है, there is a poll launched in front of your screen. Please fill it up. Like whoever is wants to find the enrollment link, it is just shared in the Zoom chat. We'll also be sharing it in the WhatsApp group that you're a part of. Okay, it's already shared in the WhatsApp group that you're a part of. Great. Perfect. So guys, I am going to end the poll. In case कोई रह गए हैं जिन्होंने अभी फॉर्म नहीं भरा था, पोल नहीं भरा था, you can just put your details personally to me in the Zoom chat. Right? Okay. So we have put the enrollment link. आप जैसे जैसे enroll कर रहे हैं, team आपको confirm करती जाएगी. Now, in case you have any questions related to how to build a career in Web3, आपके कोई भी ऐसे questions है जो अभी तक रह गए थे, just please put it in the chat, or you can unmute. Harsim is there. I know he has another meeting at 9:10 that he mentioned, right? So उसके पहले अगर आपके कोई भी question है, आप please पूछ लीजिए, because he has to then leave in another 5 minutes or so, right? Perfect. So guys, you can just put it in the chat, unmute yourself. आप अपने question पूछते रहिए. Yeah, so for all the folks who wish to contact us, here is my number. So this is my WhatsApp number. At the end of the session, post this session, you can actually contact me. You can call me or give me a WhatsApp, right? So my name is Harman. Perfect. So Harsim, I suppose there are no questions from the student side. Agar I'll, if you want to leave, I know you had another meeting. You can leave. I'll be here for another 5 minutes so that agar किसी को कोई payment related issue आ रहा है, that I can help you.
Perfect. Any other questions that come in, I'll be happy to address them. Even if you send them to me over an email, I'll be happy to send it across.
Yeah. So before leaving, there's a question by Amit Kumar. The question is, please re-explain what can be the actual career opportunities for non-tech guys. If you can tell what are the career opportunities and what all can we actually help them achieve through our program.
See, I think non-tech opportunities lies in anything that is non-tech. It could be marketing, it could be business development, it could be finance, it could be accounts, right? It could also be on the creative side, from being a designer to UI UX to also possibly looking at being an illustrator to go and join these companies like art companies who are looking at selling art or create illustrations for various companies as such. So opportunities which are non-tech are, let's say, 60% of the entire job pool today. And I'm sure if you look hard enough, there is a little bit for everybody.
Yeah. Perfect. So I suppose, Amit, you have got your answer. Now the idea is, Amit, because herein you're actually getting paid in dollars, and mostly you actually get paid in dollars, right? So the salary hoti hai, it actually gets multiplied with what 80, and then whatever you're getting in Indian terms, it actually comes double even after taxes are minus, right? So that is the upside. Perfect. Mohseen has a question: are there sufficient job opportunities for accountant or CPA?
For an accountant, I'm not too sure because it can always be automated. But for a CPA, I think DeFi possesses a lot of opportunity, especially if you're good with understanding token economics and you're okay with doing any form of a DCF model or a leverage buyout model or even basic valuation methodologies. There is a lot of opportunity. We do this every day, right? And we're always looking for some good talent that's looking to get into the space towards doing valuations for VCs. It's just us. There are much larger guys than us in the market, which means there's a lot of opportunity there as well.
Yeah. Biswamitra is asking for the quiz prize. So Biswamitra, post this session will actually be sending the quiz prizes that we have. It would be either an ebook or some free resources that you can go and get yourself helped out with. Okay. So one last call for all the folks who are sitting here, right? The enrollment is the discount is actually only valid during the class time. So I've shared the enrollment link in the Zoom chat. In case you want to enroll, you can just quickly go enroll. For all the folks who have enrolled, thank you for enrolling. You would be added into a premium WhatsApp group by tomorrow. Right?
All right. I'm going to drop off, but thank you so much for everyone's time. I saw a lot of nice questions and it was a lot of fun interacting with everyone and, going through the grind.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsim. You were wonderful today.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you, everyone. And in case you have any questions, regarding the bootcamp, अगर आपको कोई भी question है, so I am here for another 5 minutes. आप one by one question पूछ सकते हैं. I'll be happy to help you out. Right? आपको मैं one by one I can help you out. You can just unmute yourself and ask your question. Right? Okay, thank you, Akshat. Perfect. Akshat, have you signed up for the program? Because I don't think the support team has actually confirmed your name. Okay. So Ratna, the prizes, that is the free resources that would actually be shared on your emails post this session. So once I get free from it, I'll actually be sharing all that. Right? Okay, Akshat, may I know what's the reason? What's catching up, man? Why haven't you enrolled till now? Siddiqui, for this session, there is no certificate, right? This is just a free masterclass on how to build your career in Web 3.0. Okay, I suppose there are no more questions, guys. So I'm just dropping my WhatsApp number. In case someone wishes to contact me post this class, so I'll be available for calls for the next 30 minutes till 9:30. Right. So here is my number. Thank you, everyone. Okay, bye-bye. It was wonderful hosting you all.